So guys, Bitcoin has come to a standstill on price action right now, sitting around 65,000, not really shooting up. Altcoins as well. The US stock markets are soaring. Right now we have a whole bunch of news coming out from China, and there's a whole bunch of catalyst events that are going to have an effect on the markets. And I want to talk about exactly what we could be potentially seeing based off of the price action around Bitcoin, as well as the news of what's going on in the markets, just so you can keep updated with everything that is going on. But if you're new to the channel, go and check out the rest of my content. I'm just an intermediate trader showing you guys my wins, my losses, documenting my journey, and everything else in between. But other than that, let's go ahead and jump into it. So guys, like I said, the price action around Bitcoin has been hopping sideways these past few days. As soon as we broke resistance, we have been chopping sideways, just waiting to see exactly what we are going to do. Everybody wants to say, you know, that we're going to be jumping up to around that 72,000 mark, to our previous highs, but honestly we need to close out for the weekly above the previous resistance level that we were seeing to really determine if we're going to be shooting up. So we need to make sure we stay above that 65,000 mark, hopefully shoot up a little bit above as well, and then from there we're really going to have an understanding. If we look at the US stock markets and pretty much the performance right now, the US stock markets are soaring, which honestly doesn't really make sense with a lot of different things going on. I know the Fed cuts and all this other different stuff, oil prices are going down, but there's just a lot of things that aren't really making sense. But right now the US stock markets are soaring really crazy, and right now Bitcoin is kind of lagging, so Bitcoin has some time to really catch up. Once we see that, we're really going to have confirmation that we're in a whole altcoin bull rally. I saw a great post from Miles Dutcher talking about how we're not necessarily in a bull run. He called it more of, I believe he called it a popcorn state, in which coins are just, you know, popping off right now, which that is happening right now in the markets. You're seeing specific AI coins, meme coins, specific utility coins, gaming coins. They're all popping off, just dependent on, you know, the sentiment around that coin, the community, and everything else in between. But right now, guys, based off of the price action with Bitcoin, we need to hold this range, if not go a little bit higher, and make sure we do not drop below the previous resistance level, or we could be deviating to a lower point. I saw a great post, I forgot who I saw the post from, but they were talking about how, you know, it would be great to see some sort of, I guess, retest, a red candle in the markets, just so that we can have, you know, some room. A lot of people are looking for a re-entry into the markets, so if we were to have that red candle deviate a little bit lower, it could be potentially a movement to the upside. But guys, with the price action around Bitcoin lagging against the US stock markets, this has everyone wondering, you know, why are the markets rallying so hard and what's currently going on. And Bitcoin, while it follows the stock markets, one thing that really it focuses on is the liquidity in the markets, global liquidity, and just, you know, the cash reserves and everything that's going on in the markets. I saw a great post from Lark Davis. He's talking about how with Bitcoin breakout brewing also coincides with the 2-day SMA. Targets are about 74K, so the previous highs that we're currently seeing. The M2, which is pretty much just like the cash in the markets and everything like that, and the global liquidity overall, all the money in the markets, it's breaking out, which has historically seen Bitcoin make big moves after we see these, you know, crazy moves, mainly because Bitcoin follows global liquidity almost to a T, which is really important to really focus on, because the moment global liquidity starts to shoot up, Bitcoin is going to start to shoot up, altcoins are going to follow, and everything else in between. Well, why are the US stock markets, why is everything pumping and soaring so high? Well guys, overall right now the Fed cuts have taken place, which is, you know, a huge ease on the US economy and everything like that. Right now we're also seeing speculation on more Fed cuts before the end of the year, which is going to be some more ease on the markets and, you know, creditors and everything like that, interest rates. So that's going to cause more stimulation in the markets, especially leading up to the US stock, not the US stock, the US election that is taking place in November. But yeah, if we look at what exactly is happening with liquidity currently, China is considering injecting 1 trillion yuan, which is $142 billion, into its largest state banks for the first time since the 2008 global financial crisis. And right now the China stock markets aren't doing too well, and to keep prices high, they're going to inject more yuan into the markets, $142 billion. But one thing no one is really talking about is this next post, which is really crazy. China's not printing yuan they're spending dollars from the reserves for the stimulus. China is de-dollarizing while simultaneously stimulating their markets. Genius move. And then someone asked, how much yuan do they have sitting in reserve? You mean dollars, because they're using their dollars to pretty much get out of holding, you know, the US dollar and stimulating their own economy with it. You mean dollars, it's a lot. Officially, it's a little bit less than 3 trillion, but in reality, it's probably more than double that. So whenever we see this, guys, there's a lot of stimulus coming into the markets, global liquidity, because Bitcoin's going to follow all of that liquidity coming into the markets. But what does this mean for the US? We honestly won't really know until we get further into the markets, further into this cycle. From there, we're going to have an understanding of how this is going to have an effect on the US markets. But right now, you know, with the stimulus, the Fed cuts that are taking place, and the, you know, 1 trillion yuan, which is coming into the markets, is going to cause a whole bunch of stimulus for Bitcoin. And that's just going to pretty much cause everything to start to rally, which is why everyone believes we're pretty much on the verge of shooting up. A great post talking about all these specific events from IO. It's pretty ILO. He's pretty much talking about how beginning of the Fed easing cycle, China is activating a new fiscal stimulus with that yuan coming into the markets. Gold is making new all-time highs. Bitcoin lagged gold during the beginning of the last easing cycle and then outperformed massively. So right now, Bitcoin is, you know, lagging behind, but that's currently what happened before with the pricing with Bitcoin and gold, and then from there it outperformed like crazy. From there, Bitcoin setting up a monthly bullish engulfing candle after 6 months of consolidation, because like how I've discussed on this YouTube channel, guys, we've been seeing this, you know, sideways channel of consolidation for too long now, and it's been going on for so long, on the verge that we're setting up for a huge run, especially with a few patterns that we're currently seeing in the markets. He goes on to say it's very close to being completely over for bears, just because we're on the verge of this cycle. And we talked about it, you know, yesterday, about pretty much where we're at on this cycle based off of the previous cycles, based off of where we're at with the Bitcoin halving event and everything else that's going on in the markets. We're pretty much on the verge of reaching the beginning of the bull run. And with all these specific catalyst events going on, the stimulus in the markets, the US presidential election coming up, Fed cuts, additional Fed cuts coming up, and then on top of that, all this liquidity that's coming into the markets from China, this is like the perfect storm, guys, for the bull market. And right now, everyone's wondering mainly what's going on with altcoins. This is going to have an effect, of course, on altcoins, just because altcoins follows everything else. Well, based off of the charts and everything that we're seeing, there's two things I wanted to show you guys. So Ash Crypto shared this chart about a day ago. He's talking about altcoin update. The altcoin total market cap is breaking out after 7 months of consolidation. Alts will pump hard in the coming weeks. The next target is 1 trillion market cap, and as you can see, it was beginning a specific pattern, head and shoulders, as you can see right here. And then if we go ahead and jump into another post by Mustache 13 hours ago, as you can see, now we're pretty much setting up for that next move. The altcoin season index is forming a bullish inverse head and shoulders pattern over 3.5 years and is about to break out. Oh boy, what a time to be alive. So guys, with altcoins right now, we're pretty much on the verge of a breakout as well, but it's pretty much following Bitcoin and everything that's going on. And right now, Bitcoin is lagging compared to the markets. So until Bitcoin starts to, you know, rally back up, and right now we're pretty much waiting to see exactly if Bitcoin is going to deviate lower or hold its position and then potentially shoot up to our old all-time high, 74,000. That's currently the mark. We need to close out on this. From there, we can start to see altcoins start to rally based off of that price action and the global liquidity coming from issues like China, as well as easing on the markets like the Fed cuts that we've been seeing. And in terms of what altcoins are performing the best, I always like to go check out the sector performance just to have a good understanding of exactly what is performing the best. And right now, guys, as I've been preaching on this YouTube channel, I've been investing heavily in meme coins and AI coins. This is what my portfolio is mainly revolved around. I actually just made a crazy move into the AI space rotated out of a meme coin. You guys should go check out that video just because of my thesis on it. I think you guys should really look at that video. Think about, reallocating funds and all that stuff, not financial advice. But if you look at the sector performance, guys, top performing sector currently right now is the meme sector. Obviously, right now, memes are going to rally really hard just because memes don't necessarily need any traditional proper, I guess, growth from the company, more just proper community engagement, marketing, hype, sentiment, and they're going to rally hard. Any meme coin that is well established already in the space is going to rally super hard. We've been already seeing it with a few established meme coins, and right now you can see that the crypto performance is amazing with that sector. Next, guys, is the AI sector. I'm really focused on the AI sector just because of investments that are being taken in place by huge companies and corporations, partnerships, and exactly what's going to be going on in the near future in the next few months, especially once there's announcements of these partnerships, GPU technology taking over, and all these other different things. We're really going to see a lot of hype go into those AI projects, and anyone that is already exposed into those is really going to see the benefit. Below that, guys, we have L2s, DeFi, and then L1s. But guys, really the two sectors I'm really focused on is the meme sector and the AI sector. I want to make another video really talking about those two specific sectors, the specific projects that are really strong and going to perform the best in this 2024-2025 crypto bull run. But right now, guys, that's pretty much what's going on in the crypto markets. Price action around Bitcoin. Bitcoin is lagging compared to the US stock market. Right now, we need to see Bitcoin either close out above the previous resistance level, which is above 65,000, or even potentially shoot up a little bit higher for the weekly. October is usually a bullish time, especially with how September is closing out. So we plan to see some crazy price action in the next few weeks. We're already on the verge of some crazy breakouts, especially with the global liquidity shooting up, with China, going in and injecting 1 trillion yuan into the markets. And then from there, all these specific events that are, having an effect and setting us up for the perfect bull run. Guys, overall, there's a ton of events going on in the crypto markets, a ton of price action taking place. There's certain altcoins that are blowing up, and this is why you need to keep up with the perspectives in the markets, what everyone's talking about, and on top of that, where we're at on the cycle. I am going to keep you guys updated on everything that is taking place in the markets, my buys, when I plan to sell, and exactly where we're at in this cycle and what everyone's talking about. If you guys are new to the channel, go to check out the rest of my content. Like I said, I'm an intermediate trader showing you guys my wins, my losses, documenting my journey. On top of that, keeping you guys updated on the markets, just because I understand it's sometimes hard to navigate these markets, learn what everyone's talking about, and everyone's so focused on specific things. I like to give you guys a broad idea of everything collected together of what everyone's talking about. But guys, right now we're on the verge of crazy gains. I'm making some crazy plays, making some stupid money. Everyone is making some crazy gains. So if you're not, you should really be thinking about the specific crypto sectors that you are focused on. Right now, guys, I think it's going to be a really big determining factor, who's going to make it and who's not, based off of your sentiment in the markets and the way that you're going to be navigating. You can make some crazy gains these next 6 to 8 months, but if you're not keeping up with the markets, not keeping up with the cycle, top performing sectors, and you're not rotating, you're not going to be able to make the most and capitalize. But guys, that's it for today's video. I'm going to keep you guys updated. I drop daily content every day, so go ahead and check out the rest of my content. If you're new to the channel, drop me a comment, like, subscribe. Let me know exactly what you think of my content, my perspective on the markets, if I'm missing anything, specific people that I should be following up with, and also projects that you think I am not invested in. Other than that, though, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I am going to see exactly what's going on in the markets, and I'm going to keep you guys updated with everything. Hopefully, we are much richer in the next few weeks, but only time will tell. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for what's to come. Peace.